They said love has no boundaries, until theirs was discovered. She was elegant, older, and haunted by her past. He was young, fearless, and searching for meaning. When their worlds collided, time stopped, but the world around them didn't. It judged, whispered, and destroyed. And when love turned into chaos, one question remained. How far would you go for the person the world says you can't have? This is the forbidden affair that cost them everything. The rain fell softly on the quiet town of Ravenshade, a place where time seemed to stand still. Every brick, every streetlight, every whisper carried stories, some told, some buried. And in that town stood a house at the edge of Willow Street, surrounded by roses that hadn't bloomed in years. That house belonged to Clara Evans, a woman whose beauty carried sorrow like perfume, invisible but impossible to ignore. She was 42, graceful, self-contained, and alone. After losing her husband in an accident 5 years ago, she had learned to hide her pain behind polite smiles. Her days were predictable: morning tea, a walk to the bookstore she owned, and silent dinners beside the fireplace. She wasn't unhappy, just empty. Then came Ethan Cole, 24 years old, restless, and full of wonder. He'd just moved from the city, taking a job at the local newspaper. His life was loud, his world fast, until the day his camera broke near Willow Street and fate forced him to knock on Clara's door. "Can I borrow your phone?" He'd asked, water dripping from his hair. She hesitated, then smiled faintly. "Come in, before you catch a cold." That single act, that quiet moment, changed everything. At first, it was simple kindness. He would stop by her store, help her lift boxes, or share coffee during rainy afternoons. She admired his energy. He admired her calm. Where he was chaos, she was peace. Where she was silence, he found meaning. But love doesn't always enter with fireworks. Sometimes it arrives like a whisper, unnoticed until it's too loud to ignore. Weeks turned into months. Their laughter became routine. Ethan would often stay past closing hours, pretending to help while secretly just wanting to stay longer. And Clara, though she knew better, began to look forward to him. One evening, as dusk painted the sky in violet and gold, he asked softly, "Do you ever miss being seen?" Clara looked up startled. "What do you mean?" "I mean, not as a shop owner, not as a widow, but as a woman." The silence that followed wasn't awkward. It was electric. That was the night Ethan realized. He wasn't just drawn to her. He was falling for her. Rumors, however, travel faster than truth in small towns. A few glances, a few late nights, and suddenly whispers filled the air. "Have you seen them together? She's old enough to be his mother." "It's disgusting." Clara tried to ignore it. Ethan didn't care. "Let them talk," he said once, his eyes fierce. "They don't know what we have." But love that fights the world often ends up fighting itself. Clara began to distance herself, afraid of ruining his future. Ethan, frustrated, grew reckless. Their secret meetings became desperate, moments stolen in shadows behind curtains, in parks where no one went after dark. Then came the storm, literal and emotional. One night, after an argument about ending things, Ethan showed up at her door drenched in rain, his heart breaking. "I don't care what they say," he shouted. "I love you, Clara. And I'll scream it until they hear me." She stood there trembling. Tears mixed with rain as she whispered, "Love isn't always enough." "Ethan," but as thunder cracked the sky, he kissed her, a kiss that felt like both a beginning and an end. And somewhere across the street, a curtain moved. Someone had seen them. By morning, their photo was everywhere, shared, whispered, printed. The scandal of Ravenshade had begun. Clara lost her bookstore within days. People stopped coming. Ethan's editor suspended him for unprofessional conduct. The town that once adored their smiles now looked at them with disgust. But what hurt most wasn't the gossip. It was the silence that followed. Clara's own daughter, Emily, returned home from college, furious and heartbroken. "How could you?" she cried. "He's younger than me." "It wasn't planned," Clara whispered. Then why didn't you stop it? There was no answer good enough. Clara tried to end things for good. She met Ethan one last time at the old train station, where they had first dreamed of leaving town. "It's over," she said, handing him a letter. "You have a life ahead of you. Don't waste it on me. He didn't take it. You're my life, Clara." She stepped back. "Then live for me, not with me." She left, and he watched her disappear into the mist. But the story didn't end there. Weeks later, Ethan received a brown envelope with no return address. Inside was a photo, the same one from that night, but this time someone had circled Clara's figure in red ink and written, "You don't know who she really is." Ethan's hands trembled. He turned the photo over, and there, faintly written, was a date. June 17th, 1999. That was 25 years ago, before Clara ever moved to Ravenshade. He started digging. At the library, he found an article from that exact date about a missing woman named Clara Mason, presumed dead after a mysterious fire. The photo looked eerily similar to Clara Evans. Same eyes, same smile. Ethan's world shattered. Was the woman he loved hiding a past darker than he imagined? And if so, who sent the photo, and why now? He rushed to her house that night. The lights were off. The door unlocked. "Clara?" he called out. No answer. The fireplace was still warm, a cup of tea half finished. On the table lay a single note. "Ethan, if you ever truly loved me, don't look for me. The truth isn't what you think." His heart pounded. He ran outside shouting her name, but the street was empty. Only the roses by the gate swayed gently, as if waving goodbye. Days turned into weeks. The police said she probably left town. Neighbors claimed she'd gone to start over, but Ethan didn't believe it. He could feel she was still near, watching, protecting, hiding something. He began receiving letters, unsigned, written in the same handwriting as Clara's, guiding him to clues about her past. Each one darker than the last. The final letter ended with, "If you want answers, meet me where it all began." He looked at the postmark. It was dated the same day he'd first met her. Ethan drives into the stormy night, holding the last letter in his hand. As thunder roars, his voice narrates, "They said our love was forbidden, but now I wonder if it was ever real at all."